paragraph 1A. You said it has been explained or it has been interpreted to the deponent. Paragraph 1A.
That is correct.
Can you read it for me, please?
I am a magistrate and that I am not in any way involved in the investigation against him, that I do not work with the police or any other person in this case, and that he can speak freely and without fear in my presence.
Lana ke u1A uthi ngiyimanje futhi ke angiyimbandakanyeki ke uphenyo ngakwena noma kuloko ophenywa ngakwena, futhi ke angisebenzi namaphoyisa noma yimuphi umuntu okuleli cala leli, nokuthi ke ungakhuluma ngokukhululekile futhi ke ungesabi phambi kwami noma ngikhona.
All right. Being an interpreter, if you interpret such a statement, does it not have elements of a promise? Reread it if you want to.
I'm a magistrate and that I am not in any way involved in the investigation against him, that I do not work with the police or any other person in this case, and that he can speak freely and without fear in my presence.
As a witness, I don't know if the witness being asked for an opinion, which I think is relevant.
Yeah, because
it is just been
can you get us the Magistrates Court Act, please? Where they tell us when and how is an interpreter appointed? There's a section there, is that not?
32 of 1934.
Yeah. Let's read it. You have it, sir?
It's completely different.
No, I wanted to clarify exactly because what is important is the understanding, because she said it might interpretation. That's what she said.
Should we adjourn?
It's for my colleague will show it there. And
Oh, you wanted to?
yes.
Okay.
Go through it.
closest we can get to is section 112.
What does it say?
Section 112.
So, Margaret, just to assist him, we can just adjourn for a few minutes. We'll get it and then we can bring it forward.
Yeah, you are the principal interpreter in this court. You should know how and when and why you are appointed, Mr. Jonas.
Hence, I'm requesting the.
You want us to adjourn?
That's correct.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Chair. Not at all, sir.
I apologize.
Yeah, but it's fine. This is the case of S. It's to everybody. S versus Kimbani. 1979, 16th March. Klute, JP, and Kanemeya. It talks about criminal procedure evidence interpreted. Direct evidence of an interpreter thereby recorded. No need to call the interpreter to confirm what he interpreted. If correctly recorded, prima facie proof referred to in section 35(1) of Act 1 of 5177 is elevated to proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So, in other words, in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, if this lady interpreted whatever, if it is recorded correctly, it becomes proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
My Lord, may I make my submission?
Yes.
Yes, please. My Lord, before I started the cross-examination, I inquired from the witness whether in the event there is ambiguity or double meaning
Yes.
attached to the sentence or a paragraph, what is her role
Yeah.
in that fashion? I'm not challenging the appointment.
No.
Yes,
That's
my
got
Lord.
nothing to do with the appointment.
Yes. Since she was engaged to interpret
Right.
the wording in the pro forma,
Right.
what was conveyed to the deponent?
Fine.
My question is, if relevant, is that not susceptible to two meanings according to her?
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
But you see what the law says here. It says if it is recorded prima facie, and subsequently it becomes proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So me and you can talk about it. When an interpreter tells the court what a witness is saying, then it is the direct evidence of the interpreter and not the hearsay evidence of the witness which is being recorded. And if correctly recorded, the prima facie proof referred to in section 235(1) of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 is now elevated to proof beyond reasonable doubt. Okay, you can go on.
My Lord, may I not insist on,
No,
on
go
that
on.
particular question?
Go on the way you wanted to go on. I was just saying, this is what the authorities say.
All right. Sorry, ma'am, can you please, for the...
Oh, at the moment, yeah, because Mr. Jonas has gone to look for the law, which is elusive. So, Mr. Baloyi, what did you find? You said that's the nearest you could come to. What was it?
Well, it's just procedural issues like that the interpreter must take an oath and
No. Yeah, and then after that he's certified, after being trained.
yes,
Is that not so?
yes.
that is duly appointed as an interpreter of the court,
Yes.
right? And thereafter?
And the utilization of the court interpreter as a court official. Section 6 of the Magistrate Court Act mentions subsection 2 if in a criminal case evidence is given in a language with which the accused is not, in the opinion of the court, sufficiently conversant, a competent interpreter shall be called by the court in order to translate such evidence into a language with which the accused professes or appears to the court to be sufficiently conversant. Irrespective of whether the language in which the evidence is given is one of the official languages or of whether the representative of the accused is conversant with the language used in the evidence or not. As I say, these are just merely
Were you aware of this decision? The one I've just read? Kembani.
Procedural matters. Not in those exact
Okay.
exact
Yeah, fine. Yes, Mr. Jonas.
Apologies for that, my lords.
Have you found something?
Everything is done under pressure, not as in complete, because I had to go to the library and wait for them. So
But you
it
must
is-
give whatever you found to Mr. Baloyi, not me. Because me, I've already found the answer. Yes, educate us.
So the research that Mr. Jonas has embarked upon has delivered the following.
Yeah,
It's referring to section 35,
yes,
subsection 3 of the Constitution,
yes.
and subsection K, so it's 35(3) K, which encompasses the fair trial rights of the accused to be tried in cases to be tried in a language that the accused person understands, or if that is not practicable, to have the proceedings interpreted in that in that language. Then it's also given us the a booklet and this booklet refers to the official languages. And I think that is basically all.
That's all, yeah. No, fine. Yes. Mr. Mgomezeli, you can go on.
Thank you.
On the basis that you wanted to go on. Don't say I've cramped your style.
May when, especially when I ask you about a situation where there are two meanings that may be attached on, in relation to this paragraph, did you not encounter a double meaning to be attached on this particular paragraph?
No, my lord.
ukuthi ke le paragraph ibifundiwe ke la echaza khona ke ukuthi ngiwumantshi angibandakanyeki kuphenyo angisebenzi namaphoyisa nokuthi ngakhuluma ukhululekile angikubonanga kusho okubili lokho mina.
All right. The last question. I'll take you back to the certificate again. Just your opinion, especially as the person who attached the signature. Was it not necessary to say a statement and whatever that has been said by the magistrate and the deponent? Was it not necessary to include the deponent because you were translating for both of them?
Well, I cannot comment on that, my lord, because this is a standard form. So I'm in no position to decipher or say what it should and what it should not have said.
ukuthi ke iform lena kufanele ithini ingathini ifakweni kungafakwa ini mina-ke ukuthi ngasho lokho ngoba ke iphuma ikanjena-ke mina ngiyithola ingale ndlela ibhalwe lokho kubhaliwe la.
I thank you, my lord. No further questions.
Thanks. Mr. Mnisi.
No question.
No wisdom coming from you. Okay, Mr. Ngumalo.
Thank you, my lord. I have no questions. Thank you.
Mr. Chololo.
Thank you, my lord. I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. So,
We have no re-examination.
you have no recognition. It's Miss
Motlhapile.
Mutlapine.
That is correct.
You say you've been an interpreter for how many years? Both in the regional and district? 20?
Plus minus 25 years.
25
Going
years.
to 26 in December.
And you're,
Ngeke 25 ngeke 26 ngoDecember ngiyutolika.
and you're a senior,
Principal.
you're a principal.
That is correct, my lord.
Do you write exams to be a senior principal interpreter?
No,
It's just based on,
we go through an interview.
that's it. Who
Yes.
interviews you?
A panel consists of other principal interpreters,
Right,
cluster managers,
right.
Court manager.
and as well as court managers.
Court
yes.
managers.
Okay. Interview ke lena ke kuba court manager okhona ama cluster ke i-cluster yilona ke i-principal e-reporta kuyena kanye futhi namanye ke ama-principals abakuyona ke kuleyo panel leyo.
Has your interpretation ever been taken on appeal? Basically, you being accused of not having interpreted correctly
Not at all.
what
my lord.
a particular witness could
Not
have
at
said.
all.
Never, never, never.
Not at all.
Akaze kwenzeke ke ukuthi ke la engitolike khona ke ukuthi ke lindluliswe ke noma la uqala noma ke ukutolika kwami ke kuyo appeal ukuthi cha angikaze ngitolike ngendlela ekuyiyona.
Yeah, just for your information, because I found a case where actually here an interpreter, this case was in 1979, it was reported in 1979. Apparently this interpreter was accused of having misinterpreted something, because they didn't quote what he allegedly said and what counsel for the accused was contesting. And they just quote here, they say, in the instant case, it is clear that the accused is Xhosa speaking and that he made the statement, that is Exhibit A, like here in our case, in the language that it was translated into English. It is also clear that he gave evidence in the criminal trial in Xhosa. That his evidence was translated into English, in which language it was recorded. Right? Then this is what the two judges say. It was a review. When the matter came before me on review, I caused the following query to be sent to the magistrate. By reason of section 235 of Act 51 of 77, the certified copy of case RC 54/78 is admissible as prima facie proof that the matter purported to be recorded there was correctly recorded. However, in the case, the accused the accused gave evidence in Xhosa, which is interpreted into English, in which language it was recorded. It was not necessary to call the interpreter to prove that that evidence was correctly interpreted. And the ratio, which is elicited in this case, is that when an interpreter tells the court what a witness is saying, then it is direct evidence of the interpreter and not the hearsay evidence of the witness which is being recorded. And if recorded correctly, the prima facie proof referred to in section 235(1) of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 77 is now elevated to proof beyond reasonable doubt. That's what the law says, not me.
Ufunda icala ke athi yila echaza khona ke ukuthi uma kunobufakazi obethulwayo ukuthi ubufakazi obuqoshwayo noma obuthathwayo ke akusibona lokhu ubufakazi obushiwo uyena lo ofakazayo, kodwa lokhu ke okushiwo utolika bese kuyathatha kuba ubona ke ubufakazi obubekwa ke noma omamukelekayo noma oburekhodwayo ke ngaphambi kwayo inkantolo.
Right, one other aspect for my clarification. Ms. Cronje testified that the interview took about 3 hours. That is,
It is possible, my lord.
and were you present from the beginning up to the end, or was there a stage when the interview was stopped and maybe you went to bathroom, whatever?
No, my lord. We ran throughout that whole period.
Throughout.
Nobody requested a bathroom break or anything. We just proceeded all the way.
Kungenzeka ukuthi manje kuba eshilo ke uMiss Cronje ukuthi kwathatha amahora awu3 ukuthi lawo amahora awu3 kodwa akekho umuntu ngisho nami ke noyedwa owacelaka ukuthi ake kumiwe nje kancane ahambe ke aye ngasendlini encane noma ke aye ke ngase bathroom saqhubeka ngaso sonke leso sikhathi.
Was there any stage where Mr. Ntanzi queried the presence of the alleged legal representative?
Not at all, my lord.
Never.
Never.
asikho nje isikhathi nakancane noma nesisodwa la ke umnumzana uNtanzi aba nenkinga ke nalo yamlisa owaye athi kummeli ukuthi ukukhona bakhe ukhona lapho ngani akaze kwenzeke lokho.
Okay, any questions arising? None. Yes, sir. None.
No questions, my lord.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Baloyi.
Evidence of a pointings out.
Is that so?
Indeed, my lord.
In respect of which?
In respect of accused number 1.
Okay.
The names on the pointings out form correspond with those of accused number 1.
Okay. Number 1.
Yes, number 1.
Only at this stage.
Yes.
Mr.
The-
Mezulu?
The admissibility thereof has been challenged on the grounds to be laid by the defense. We will then stand down for the defense to lay down the ground on which they challenge the
Yes.
the pointings.
Yes, Mr. Mezulu?
Court business, my lord. My lord, the grounds for the objection or for the challenging of the admissibility thereof is that on the 5th of June 2020,
Yeah.
the accused was transported from Villaria,
Was transported?
from Villaria police station.
Villaria police
Villaria
station.
police station
Yeah.
to Fos Loras,
Right.
and he was subjected to torture and assault by the TRT
By?
police,
Yeah.
who then took him to Albertine.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he was, according to his instruction, he was instructed to point out the place where the incident took place. After that,
Right.
he was transported from Albertine
Yeah, to point out
to
a certain
the-
place.
to a certain place. my lord.
Yeah. Okay. What is he pointing out? A certain place.
A certain place.
Okay. Is that how you want to put it?
That's my instruction.
Yeah. No, fine. I'm
Yes.
just.
My lord, according to his instruction, it was not made freely and
The
voluntarily.
pointing out.
That's
Is
correct.
it a pointing out or pointing
Pointings.
outs?
Pointings out or
So
pointing.
they send him to one place or two places or three places or
It was only one
one
place. my
place.
lord.
One place. But I see you're using the plural, pointing outs.
May
Pointing out one place. I say, this will miss again.
I ask this? May I withdraw that S?
No, I'm not saying you withdraw.
Okay. The S, the plural form.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
one place.
One place.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Sorry, madam, if Mr. Mgomezulu is busy, let me take instructions from my house number.
Okay, fine.
It is his instruction further, my lord, that he was never explained of his constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And it's my further instructions that he signed the pro forma, and he was forced to do so,
Forced to sign it.
forced to sign the document.
Okay.
May I take an instruction, my lord?
Yeah.
Ngalomzuzu emhlesibiya ummeli wakhe sekhulumisana noMr. Kamsipile uthi ke awuvumelani ke nalokho njengoba umbuso uthi ke uzohola ubufakazi manje bokuthi kukhona la wena owahamba wayokhomba khona ke ummeli wakho uthi cha nivumelani ke nalokho ngoba ke uthi awuzange ukwenze lokho kuphuma kuwena washaywa ke wase uthathwa usiwa endaweni ethize la ekwathiwa ke khomba khona futhi ke nalapho ke uma usayinda lapha lokho kwakusayinda akusayindanga ngoba uma wena ukuthi ke waphoqa ukuthi kwenze lokho.
My Lord, may I make a slight correction on the instruction where the accused was taken from? He was taken from Alberton to a certain place.
From Alberton to a certain place.
That's correct, my Lord. And from that place to the hostel.
And from that place to
the hostel.
Which hostel?
That's correct.
To the hostel.
To the hostel, Basutu hostel.
Oh, I see.
Yes, to be
Basutu
specific.
hostel. Where is Basutu hostel?
It's in Foslorus.
Okay, fine.
Nokuthi ke wathathwa ke eAlberton wasiwa ke endaweni ethize suka ke endawo ethize wasiwa ke hostel ekuyibasutu hostel eseFoslorus.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Mnisi, then there's a precursor here, ne? Are there? Because the precursor states that there is a dispute relating to the admissibility of the pointing out. The court then declares that this dispute should be adjudicated within a trial within a trial. Is that so, sir? Okay. Yes, Mr. Aloy.
As a court, please, my lord. The pro forma regarding the pointings out has already been handed up as Exhibit GG.
Exhibit GG?
Yes.
Where is it? Have you given it to me?
Yes, in the file.
You can go on.
There's nothing contentious about the pro forma. I've invited my learned friends to make any reductions, but they haven't availed themselves of that opportunity. But to say there's nothing contentious about.
Is that so, Mr. Mgumuzulu? There's nothing contentious about the pro forma?
That's correct, my lord. That's the position.
Okay.
My lord, I have not seen the document that has been handed to court to see if the papers have been removed, my lord.
Is it in the file, the exhibit file?
Indeed, my lord. The statement was removed.
Is this?
Yes.
It has been removed.
Yeah, the statement has been removed.
So Ms. Mutolo wants to see that as a fact.
Thank you, my lord.
Only the pro forma was handed up.
Have you attached it when you say it was handed out?
Yes, my lord. Exhibit GG.
It's not here. Let me point you out. Is it here? Oh, it's here. Okay. It's here.
We can always
Exhibit
find-
GG.
Yes.
Rose, it's not here. Look into that.
We have a spare copy. that
Yeah, show it to your,
we can
to your,
really show
to your sister.
My lord, it's also a problem if it was handed before the witness testified to court. I doubt, my lord, I can't recall it being submitted to the court, but subject to
That's
court.
why I say I don't have it.
Yes.
So this is the one, GG.
My recollection of that, it was also
It's the
handed
first
up.
time I see it, but Mr. Ngomezulu says there's nothing contentious about it. What does that mean, Mr. Ngomezulu?
My lord, there are no indications of self-incriminating on the statement itself.
There's nothing indicating self-incrimination on the
Self-incrimination.
pro forma exhibit GG.
That's correct.
Yes, Mr. Cholo.
My Lord, the one that I've just been given by the state, I've seen it. I confirm that those pages have been removed in this pro forma, my Lord. The only document I have not seen is the one that has been submitted before this court.
Pardon?
The only document that I have not seen is the one that has been submitted, my Lord, if those pages...
To the what? To the court?
To the court, yes.
Now, this court is bound by the law to tell the truth. Once you submit a document to this court,
Yes,
and it is a pro forma statement,
yes.
this court won't even want to see it. You're not the type of judge who's going to sit with information which is not before the court.
Thank you, madam. So should we proceed with this document or the one that has already been submitted?
Just show me some short of this.
Thank you, my Lord, for the indulgence. I've seen the document, madam.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, this judge called Ratam Kwatli will never preside over a case where he sees a disputed document before it has been seen by the defense. Never, never.
As the court please.
Please.
I think there's also an ethical duty on the state not to submit any document that hasn't been proven, a statement that hasn't been
Yes.
proven. We will not do that, my Lord.
Yeah, okay.
My Lord, photos 2 and 7 have already been handed up as annexure GG in brackets.
Photos? Even those photos, I haven't seen them. I'm starting to see them now, if they are here. Where are they?
Photos 2 to 7, they should form part of the bundle.
Just show me those. This court only deals with evidence which has been adjudicated upon and argued on. When I start preparing whatever. But what has never passed through the evidence of the courts, I don't deal with it. Because there's no evidence predicating that. So, Mr. Gomezulu, have you seen the photos?
I've seen a lot.
How many are they? Because I am only seeing, I'm going to see the photos now. I haven't seen them.
My Lord, the photos that the state is intending to hand over is photo 2 to 7, but the photos that were
2 to 7.
2 to 7 for the purpose of this exercise.
Okay.
You see this an extra photo, can I just remove that? Photo 1.
Where are the originals?
The originals are
Oh, they are with the.
with the witness.
Yeah. Okay, yes, Mr.
Then,
Lord.
my Lord, the state begs leave to hand up additional photos as part of Exhibit GG1. It's photos 26 up to 31. They were previously also handed up to the defense.
So these photos are at GG Annexure 1.
Indeed, my Lord.
Yeah. Okay.
They are in the bundle. We also have them available in in soft copy, they will be shown should be unitarized.
Yeah, but the point is, does the defense have them?
Indeed, my lord, they were given to the defense.
Okay, fine.
I think with all those formalities out of the way, my lord, the state then calls the next witness is Lieutenant Colonel Khadebe. This witness number 85 on the list.
Yes. Sir, the witness in, Mr. Tapita.
Full name and surname, please.
Nkosukona James Harden.
Any objection in taking the oath?
No.
Do you swear that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth? As you raise on your hand, say, so help me God.
So help me God.
The witness is sworn in.
Thank you. Okay.
Is it correct that you are a lieutenant colonel in the South African Police?
Yes.
Kuyiqiniswa-ke ukuthi nguyi-lieutenant colonel emaphoyiseni.
Where are you currently attached?
I am currently attached at serious corruption in Klerksdorp, my lord.
Manje-ke la engisebenza khona-ke ngisebenza ngaphansi-ke kwe-unit abayibiza ukuthi serious corruption eClerksdorp.
Can you put your career history on record? When did you join the South African Police?
My lord, I joined the South African Police Service in 1987.
Ngiqale-ke ukusebenza emaphoyiseni ngo-1987.
I went to training at Hammanskraal in 1988.
Ngo-1988 ngase ngiya-ke kuqeqesho noma-ke ku-training eHammanskraal.
After my training, I was transferred to the detective service in Pretoria.
Emuva-ke kwaleyo training leyo ngase ngiya-ke kwigatsha labaphenyi-ke noma labaseshi eClerksdorp.
Just a minute. Yes, may continue.
From Pretoria, I was transferred to the then Valrent Murder and Robbery Unit.
Uma ngisuka-ke eClerksdorp ngase ngithunyelwa-ke kule indawo-ke ngaphambilini abayibiza-ke ukuthi i-Val Murder and Robbery Unit.
Which year was that?
It was 1989-90, yes.
Ngo-1989 no-90 uma ngiya khona lapho-ke.
And for how long were you at Pretoria
1 year.
Police?
eClerksdorp-ke ngachitha unyaka owodwa.
Yes, and for how long were you at the Val Murder and Robbery?
At the Murder and Robbery Unit, I was there for 2 years.
Kwaba iminyaka emibili-ke ngise-Val Murder and Robbery Unit.
And then I was then transferred to Sharpeville Detective Services.
Ngase ngithunyelwa-ke kugatsha-ke lama-detectives eSharpeville.
And there I worked for about 3.5 years.
Kwase kuthi-ke iminyaka ewu-3.5 la ngasebenza khona-ke lapho.
And then, my lord, I was transferred to South African Narcotics and Alcohol Bureau, which was the then SANAP.
Ngase ngisiwa lapho kwabathi-ke i-SANAP uma ngisuka khona lapho.
I worked at SANAP until year 2000, which would have been 3 years.
Lapho-ke ngisebenze kwaze kwashaya-ke u-2000 okwenza-ke ukuthi kwaba iminyaka emithathu.
I worked at SANAP for 3 years, and then SANAP was closed and we were all transferred to serious organized crime.
Wase-ke evalwa-ke uSANAP sonke-ke sathathwa-ke sasiwa la khona-ke kubizwa ngokuthi-ke serious organized crime.
At serious organized crime, worked for many years until I was promoted in Rustenburg.
Ngisebenze lapho ke iminyaka eminingi ke kwaze kwayisikhathi la esengihushulela khona ke ngesikundla kushela eRustenburg.
I was transferred to Rustenburg in 2019, my lord.
Ukuya kwami ke eRustenburg ngiye ngo-2019.
I've worked various sections within the serious organized crime, namely national priority violent crimes, drug enforcement section.
Just a minute.
Ngisebenze ke kwindawo noma ke kuma-unit amaningi ke phakathi lapho ke kuyona ke i-serious organized crime
And project investigations.
kanye nokuphenya ke ama-projects.
And where were you based when you were attached to organized crime?
I was based in the Valrent, my lord.
Ngaleso sikhathi ke ngangisebenzela khona ke eVal.
I just want to show you exhibit GG. Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes, my lord.
Uchichi lona ke uphambi kwami yebo ngiyabona futhi ngiyamazi.
As which one?
As the notes on the pointing out of a scene that was completed by myself.
Lana ke ama-notes la ekwakukhonjwa khona ke kwindawo ke yesigameko abhalwa yimina.
Yes. Can you go ahead and read the contents of exhibit GG in the report?
On the form here, on the pro forma, it says note on the pointing out of a scene or scenes and or points.
Lana ke kubhaliwe ukuthi ama-notes ke e-pointing out noma la ekukhonjwa khona ke indawo yesigameko noma ke iy'ndawo zesigameko noma ke i-point noma ama-point.
Just before you proceed, have you conducted pointings out before?
Yes.
Before this particular one?
Yes, my lord.
Bangasilona ke ihlandla lokuqala leli ke khona ke engake ngawenza ama-pointing out.
How many more or less before this particular one?
My lord, I think it's about 4 before this one.
Ngathi ke ayo-4 ngaphambilini ngaphambi kwayona lena ke i-pointing out engawenza.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then it says, describe the precise circumstances preceding the pointing out of a scene or point out.
Lana ke iyachaza ke noma ithi ke awuchaze ke izimo ke ngaphambi kokuthi ke uhambe ke noma ke uyofinyelela kuyona ke le ndawo yesigameko noma ke i-pointing out leyo.
On 1, it says, who approached the officer to take charge of such pointing out?
Bese kunombuzo ke laphana ukuthi ubani ke ozeke kuyona ke i-officer noma ke iphoyisa lelo ke ukuthi libe yilona ke elihola leyo pointing out noma lokho kukhomba lokho.
I then wrote Lieutenant Colonel Gininda from Head Office Detective Services.
Base ngibhala ke ukuthi uyena uLieutenant Colonel Gininda obuya khona ke head office kwi service yabaphenyi noma yabaseshi.
The date, my lord, is 2020-0604, though I made a mistake on the form and wrote 0504.
I-date ke u-2020-0604 kodwa mina ngenza iphutha ke ngabhala 2020-0504.
The time was 1339.
Isikhathi ke u-1339.
And then on point 2, it says, how was the officer approached? And by telephone, personally or otherwise. I scratched personally and otherwise and left by telephone.
Bese kuba nombuzo ke ukuthi senziwa kanjani ke noma kwakhulunyiswana kanjani ke ne-officer leyo ukuthi kwenze lokhu ngase ukuthi kwenziwa ngokuyena mathupha noma ngenye indlela ngazicima ngazicisha lezo imbili ngayisula kwatsala ke ngocingo.
And further, I wrote, can you please obtain a pointing out from an accused on my case?
Ngaqhubeka ke ngabhala ngafundeka ngale ndlela ungasiza yini ngokuthi ke uthathe noma wenze ke khomba noma ke pointing out kumsolwa ecaleni lami.
On point 3, it says, what were the exact words of the member of the force when he approached the officer to take charge of such pointing out?
Umbuzo landelayo ukuthi athinike amagama noma amazwi asetshenziswa yilona ke ilunga lelo uma ngabe liza kuwe nake noma licela iofficer ke ukuthi lihole leyo pointing out leyo.
The answer is, can you please obtain a pointing out on my case?
Impendulo ithi ke ungasiza yini ukuthi wenze ke pointing out ecaleni lami.
And it say, and then the proforma says, read to the suspect at, and then I wrote Albertine SAPS on this day, 5th day of June 2020, and at office number 31 Albertine SAPS.
Bese ukuthi ke okwafundelwa noma fundela umsolwa wasekuchazwa ke kuma kwisteshi samaphoyisa sase Albertine ngalo suku lwesihlanu kuJune ngo2020 ku-office number 31 kumaphoyisa noma ipolice station yase Albertine.
And then on name I wrote Muzika Kulelwa Stemba Sibiya.
Igama asengibhala ke umuzika ukhulelwa Stemba Sibiya.
Place Nongoma in KwaZulu-Natal.
Indawo Nongoma KwaZulu-Natal.
What does that information represent, please?
The place represent where is he from.
Lena indawo ke ichaza la abuya khona ukuthi owakuphi nendawo.
And then on the space of sex I wrote male.
Base ngibhala ke ukuthi umuntu wesilisa.
On the address, he could not give a specific address and mentioned that he uses Ngoza Primary School as his address because there are no physical addresses.
Ikheli ke wase banganako ke ukuthi anikeze ngekheli ekuyilona wase echaza ke ukuthi ke usebenzisa ke uNgoza Primary School.
On his age, he gave 34 years of age.
Iminyaka yakhe ke wasethi uneminyaka u34.
And then it continues, apparently in his sound and sober senses appear before me, Police Officer Lieutenant Colonel Hadebe.
Bukeka ke umuntu ke osengqondweni ke ngokuphelele indlela ke angayo ngaphambi kwami iphoyisa uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe.
Appointed as Justice of the Peace for the Republic of South Africa.
Nokuthi ke uqokuweke nanjengaloku bakubiza ke ukuthi ke Justice of the Peace wayo ke iRepublic of South Africa.
The said person was brought by, I did not write anything, my lord, because there was a lot of heckling regarding that. I had to end up going to sign for the accused myself.
Lapha kubhaliwe ke ukuthi walethwa ubani angibhalanga lutho ke lapho ngoba ke kwakunemusho nje eziningi mayelana nalokho kwadingeka ukuthi ngihambe ke ngiyomsayindela mina ke mathupha umsolo.
Where did you sign him out?
I signed him out from the OB, which is an occurrence book.
La ngamsayindela khona ke incwadi esibiza ngokuthi ke iOB noma ke occurrence book,
which is kept in the SAPS cells at Albertine.
Egcinwa ke kuma cells ke SAPS eAlbertine.
To the private office number 31 Albertine SAPS.
Ukuthi ke na kwi-office ke eli-private eli-number 31 kumaphoyisa noma kwi-station samaphoyisa eAlbertine.
At Albertine SAPS, only the interpreter, and I scratched it out, my lord, because there wasn't any interpreter.
Ibisechaza ke ukuthi ke kwi-station samaphoyisa eAlbertine utolika kuphela lapho ke engakusulaka noma ke engaku cimake ngoba ke kwakungena interpreter eyayikhona noma utolika owayekhona.
Lieutenant Colonel, can you just maybe explain, after you made the entry in the occurrence book, what happened? You said you made an OB and also an entry in the cells. What happened thereafter?
I received him and I cuffed him and I took him to office number 31 Albertine at Albertine SAPS.
Ngamkhipha ke lapho ngifakele uZankosi ngase ngimsa ke kwi-office ke number 31 khona lapho eAlbertine SAPS.
Yeah, and just before you proceed, you say there was heckling. That's why you ended up going to sign out the accused himself. What do you mean there was heckling?
That's correct, my lord. No one was prepared to sign for the suspect, hand him to me, for me to continue and then later on bring him back, fearing questions of escapes and all that.
Kwakungekho umuntu wayimiseleke ukuthi ke ahambe ke ayomkhipha abese yamsayindela ke amvethe kumina ukuthi ke mase ngiqedile ngiphinde ngimbuyiseke ngokwesabela ke ukuthi mhlambe kungenzeka ke bekhona ke ukubaleka.
There was a Sergeant Baloyi who was prepared to do that, but he was discouraged. Hence, I then decided to sign for the suspect myself.
Wayekhona ke uSergeant Baloyi owayemiseleke ukuthi angasiza ngakwenza ke lokho kodwa ke base kwenzeka ke ukuthi nje angakwenzi noma angasaqhubeka ke yiloko ngathatha isinqumo sokuthi bese ngiyahamba ke ngiyomkhipha ngokwami.
But there in the cells, who pointed out the accused to you, or the person to you?
The accused was not pointed out to me. He was alone in that portion of the cells. As I walked in, there were people that were guarding him, which were members of EMPD, if I'm not.
Lapho ke akekho umuntu owangikhomba yena kwathi uyena ke lona kuleyo ngxenye leyo ke ama-cells awayekona kwakuyena yedwa futhi ke kunabantu ke bebembhekile bemgadile ke uma ngezikhutha ke abe-EMPD.
Yes, you may proceed with the form.
I show him my appointment certificate and his reaction is I confirm.
Okay, so thanks. Ngase ngimkhombisa ke ngimtshengisa ke i-certificate sami ke somsebenzi wasethi ke ayike cha ngiyabona ke noma ngiyasibona.
You say there was no use made of an interpreter. Can you explain to the court as to what was the reason?
The reason for not using an interpreter, my lord, is that Sibiya was speaking Zulu and I'm also Zulu.
Imbangela ke yokuthi kwakungasetshenziswa ke utolika ukuthi ke uSibiya ukhuluma isiZulu nami ke ngiyumZulu.
And can you just explain to the court how well conversant are you in isiZulu?
I am well conversant in isiZulu. I grew up in KZN in Newcastle.
IsiZulu ngiyasikhuluma ke ngisikhuluma kahle futhi ngakhulela ke KZN eNewcastle.
And I still have a lot of relatives that I visit almost twice or thrice a year in KZN.
Futhi ke ngisenomndeni ke engisahambayo ke ngiyobabona mhlambe kabili noma kathathu ke khona kabili noma kathathu ngonyaka eKZN.
And isiZulu is my home language, and we were only allowed to speak isiZulu in my household. My father was very strict with it.
IsiZulu ke ulimi lami ke lasekhaya ekhaya ke nje ubaba ke wayengakuvumi nje ukuthi sikhulume nje olimi bakuyisiZulu kuphela.
So I'm well conversant with isiZulu.
Ngakho ke isiZulu ngiyasikhuluma ngisikhuluma kahle futhi.
Proceed.
On the following page, it says, the said was asked whether he was informed of the reason for his arrest as prescribed by Section 35 of Act 108 of 1996, which is the Constitution. So, And then my answer is yes, I was informed. And then he further explained that he was in custody on a drug dealing charge.
Wase ebuzwa ke ukuthi ingabe watshela yini ngembangela yokuboshwa kwakhe nanjengoba ke umthethosisekelo ke nomthethosihlomelo u35 wakhe ke uAct 108 ka1996 usho uthi yebo ngatshelwa ke wabese eseqhubeka futhi engitshela ukuthi waboshelwani wathi ke ngiboshelwe iqala ke lezidakamizwa.
The said person is informed of his rights as prescribed by Section 35 of Act 108 of 1996. 1. The said person was informed of the right to remain silent. 2. He was informed that he has the right to remain silent and of the consequence if he does not remain silent. Number 3. He was also warned that he was not obliged to make any confession or admission that might later be used against him. Number 4, he was also informed that he has the right to consult with a legal representative of his choice, and if he cannot afford the services of such legal representative, a legal representative can be appointed by the state. Number 5, if he is a minor, he has a right to be supported by his next of kin, guardian, / legal representative or any other person of his choice before he makes any statement, confession, admission or pointing out. And then I asked, do you understand the warning I have given to you? The answer is yes, I understand.
Kwase kuthi ke okulandelayo ke wase echazelwa ke namalungelo akhe ke anawo ke akhona ke kena ke uSection 35 Act 108 ka1996 okokuqala ke ukuthi unelungelo lokuthi angathula angasho lutho wase etshelwa ke ukuthi unelungelo lokuthi angathula nokuthi futhi ke imiphumela ke ingaba yini uma ekhetha ukuthi angathuli nokuthi ke wase exwayiswa ke ukuthi akaphoqelekile ukuthi avule isifuba noma avume nokuthi ke lokho kungathi ke kusetshenziswe ngakuyena nanjengobufakazi wase exwayiswa futhi ukuthi unelungelo lokuthi ke angakhulumisana nommeli oqokwe noma okhethwe uyena nokuthi uma kuwukuthi ke akafinyeleli ukuthi ke amkhokheleke loyo mmeli noma ukuthi akamafodi ke unelungelo ke lokuthi umbuso ungathi umqokele noma ke umkhethele ummeli nokuthi uma kuwukuthi ke uyingane esencane unelungelo lokuthi kube khona ke umuntu wakibo noma ke owomndeni ummeli noma yimuphi omunye umuntu okhethwe uyena ngaphambilini kokuthi ke enze istatement leso avume avule isifuba nokuthi ayokhomba ngase ngimbuza ke ukuthi uyazwisisa yini lezi xwayiso engikunikeza zona waphendula ke wathi yebo ngiyazwisisa.
Now, this law that you've quoted, Section 35 of Act 105 of 1996, which law is it? What is it commonly known as?
It's known as the rights of an accused person.
Lomthetho ke mthana kumthethosihlomelo lona ke u35 ka108 1996 ke umthetho owaziwa ke noma omayela ke namalungelo omuntu owumsola noma umuntu oboshiwe.
Yes, but where does it
Which is
derive?
entrenched in the Constitution of the Republic.
Okhona ke kumthethosisekelo ke weRepublic.
Thank you. You may proceed.
The said person is informed that he is in the presence of a justice of the peace.
Sorry, just read the part. Do you understand the warning?
Okay, I then asked, do you understand the warning I have given to you? And the answer is yes, I understand.
Mbuza ukuthi isixwayiso noma izixwayiso lezi ngikunikeza zona ngiyazwisisa yini waphendula kwathi yebo ngiyazizwa.
The said person is informed that he is in the presence of a justice of the peace, an officer in the South African police. He is warned that he is not compelled to point out any sins or point out on the sin or say anything about such sins. The said person is further warned that what he may point out or may say will be noted down, and photographs of the sin and pointed out will be taken and may later be used as evidence during a subsequent trial.
Wasetshelwa-ke umuntu loyo-ke ukuthi manje-ke usekhoneni-ke balo obizwa nanjenge-justice of the peace kanye futhi-ke noyiphoyisa-ke kuwona amaphoyisa aseNingizimu Afrika wase exwayiswa-ke ukuthi akaphoqelekile ukuthi akhombe indawo noma yiphi indawo noma ama-points noma-ke iy'ndawo nokuthi-ke asho lutho mayelana nendawo noma iy'ndawo lezo wase etshelwa exwayiswa futhi ukuthi nayini noma yikuphi akukhombayo-ke noma akushoyo kuzothi kubhalwe phansi kuthwetshwe iy'thombe zaleyo ndawo noma iy'ndawo lezo noma ama-points lawo azothi awakhombe bese kuthi-ke kamuva-ke kusetshenziswe nanjengobufakazi uma sekuqulwa icala.
Asked whether he knows and understands the warning given to him now, and the answer to this is as follows: I understand the warning.
Buziwe-ke noma ebuzwa-ke ukuthi uyazwisisa noma uyakwazi yini uyazizwa noma uyazazi yini lezi xwayiso ezinikezwa kuyena, waphendula-ke wathi ngiyazizwa izexwayiso.
He is further asked if he still wishes to point out the sins or point out, and his reply to this is, I still want to point out and give a statement.
Wasebuzwa-ke ukuthi-ke emuva kwalokho-ke ingabe kuseyisifiso sakhe yini ukuthi-ke akhombeke indawo noma iy'ndawo noma ama-points wase ephendula-ke ethi ngisafisa noma ngisafuna ukuthi ngikhombe nokuthi nginikeze nge-statement.
And on the following page, on number 1, it says, have you previously pointed out anything of a similar nature? The answer is no.
Wase ebuzwa ukuthi ngaphambilini usike wakhomba-ke yini noma khona la owakhomba yini okufanayo-ke nalokhu, waphendula-ke wathi cha.
Number 2, he says, if so, when, where, when, and to whom? And because there was none, I wrote not applicable.
Uma kunjalo-ke kuphi nini kubani ngoba-ke besephendulile-ke wathi cha akukho.
The following is, were you in any way assaulted, threatened, or influenced by any person to point out sins or points? The answer is no.
Ngabe washaywa yini, wesatshiswa yini, noma-ke kwaba khona ukugqugquzela yini, noma-ke waba nomthelela yini, ukhona yini umuntu owaba nalo nomthelela yini ukuthi-ke ukhombe indawo noma iy'ndawo noma i-point noma ama-points? Waphendula-ke wathi cha.
Do you have any injuries or bruises of any nature whatsoever? Can you show them to me? If so, please show them to me. And the answer is no.
Ingabe ukhona unako yini ukulimala noma amanxeba noma-ke imihuzuko onayo noma eyaluphike uhlobo? Uma kunjalo-ke ngicela-ke ungitshengise noma ungikhombiseke. Impendulo waphendula-ke wathi cha.
Observations by the officer. What I did here was to request the member from local criminal record center to take pictures of the accused person.
Bese kuthi kubhaliwe lana-ke ukuthi lokho okwabonwa-ke i-officer ukusho-ke iphoyisa ekuyimina engakwenza-ke lana ukuthi icele ilunga-ke lakwa-LCRC, the local criminal record center, ukuthi lithwebuleke iy'thombe zakhe umsolwa.
But he is calm. That's what I wrote here.
Kodwa-ke engakubhala-ke lana ukuthi nje ngisho ukuthi-ke cha wayengenako-ke ukutatazela owayenako.
And who is the member from the local criminal record center that you requested to take?
It's Sergeant
photos of?
Mapakela from LCRC Albert.
Kwaku Sergeant Maphakela we-LCRC Albertine yena-ke lo wayethwebula iy'thombe.
And which photos were those?
The photos are as follows, my lord. Is photo 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Iy'thombe yilezi-ke u-2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kanye no-7.
We'll also just show them on the screen for the benefit of the accused. Can you just indicate which photo is that?
That is photo 2.
Number 2 there.
It's photo 3,
Showing what?
the accused facing the opposite side.
umsolo wakhe ebheke ngale.
And the first photo, photo 2.
It shows the accused facing to the front part, facing me, and the person taking the picture.
Itshengisa yena ke umsolo ebheke ngakumina kanye nalo othwele uyithombe.
Yes. Photo 3.
Photo 4 shows the accused with his clothes, the top clothes removed, and he's bare-chested.
Lesi ke isithombe sikhombisa ke umsolo wakhe engagqoke lutho lana ngaphezulu.
Which also was to in confirmation of any injuries, that he did not have any injuries on his body.
Nalokho ke kwakuyinkomba ke ukuthi kwakungekho ke ukulimala noma noma aye nawo emzimbeni wakhe.
Photo 5 shows the accused looking to the left hand side,
Lana ke tshengisa ke umsolo wakhe ebheke kuhlangothi langaku left
still not wearing anything on top.
engagqokanga lutho ke la ngaphezulu.
And
Also,
the aim being
the purpose is to check any injuries on his body.
Nala ubheka ke ukuthi khona yini ukulimala okwakhona ke emzimbeni wakhe.
Photo 6 shows the accused facing the opposite side, opposite direction, without anything on top, showing that he had no injuries.
Lana ke umsolo wakhe ebhekele futhi engagqokanga lutho ngaphezulu nokuthi ke akunakulimala aye nalo emzimbeni.
Photo 7 shows the accused facing the right hand side, and without any top on, and also the intention was to check for injuries.
Lana ke inkhombisa ke ebheke ngakuhlangothi langaku right engagqoke lutho ngaphezulu nalapho ke ubheka ke ukuthi wayelimele yini.
okay. Can get back to the form.
On point 10, it says, tell me how you sustained injuries. I wrote not applicable because he did not have any injuries.
Oh, yeah. Lana ke u10 uthi ke angitsheleke ukuthi walimala kanjani ngoba ke kwakungekho ke ukulimala kunalutho ebhaliwe lapha.
The following page, note down the following information. The vehicle of the SAP number, which is the vehicle that we used for pointing out.
Lana ke ithi bhala phansi ke lemininingwane elandelayo. Lana ke imoto lena ke esayisebenzisa noma esasihamba ngayo emaphoyisa.
The SAP number is BVL 755B.
Number yayo ke uBVL 755B.
The kilometer reading on that vehicle at that point was 80652.
Nokuthi ke amakhilomitha ke nama mileage yayo ke kwaku 80652.
On driver, it's Warrant Officer Nailana.
Umshayeli ke kwaku warrant officer Nailana.
Passenger left front is Lieutenant Colonel Hade.
Ukuthi ki passenger ke hlangothi langaku left ngaphambili uLieutenant Colonel Hadebe.
Passenger on the right back, there was no one, I wrote none.
Passenger ke kuhlangothi langaku right emuva kwakungekho umuntu.
What was the position regarding the photographer? Was he traveling with you or separately?
He was traveling separately with another.
Umthobile ithombe yena ke wayehambela ngenye imoto.
Passenger left back is Muzika Ukulelwa Stemba Sibiya.
Passenger ke emuva ke ngaku left kwaku umuzika ukhulelwa Sithemba Sibiya.
Name of photographer is Sergeant Mapakela.
Igama lomthobile ithombe kwaku Sergeant Maphakela.
And we depart from Alberton SAPS.
Sasuka ke kuma station samaphoyisa sase Alberton.
Date 2020-06-05.
Date ke kwaku 2020-06-05.
Time returned 13:30, and the kilometers was 80690.
Isikhathi ke kwaku 1:30 13:30 amakhilometer uma sesibuya ke kwaku 80690.
You still remember what the time of departure was?
Yes, my lord. The time of departure was around 1300 hours.
isikhathi esahamba ngaso noma esasuka ngaso bekhona lapho njengoba la kubhalwe esokubuya kwaku-1 1300.
Yes, you may proceed.
After conclusion of the pointing out of the sins or points, the notes are read to the person who pointed out and they are interpreted once again. The following questions are now put to the person who pointed out the sin or the point.
Emuva kokuthi sekuqediwe-ke ukuthi kuyokhonjwa noma ukuthi akhombeke indawo noma i-point noma ama-points, kwase-ke ama-notes lawo-ke ayafundwa-ke afundelwa loyo-ke ebekuyena-ke obekhomba nokuthi-ke aphinde futhi ahunyushwele noma atolikweke imibuzo ile mibuzo elandelayo-ke manje ayibuzwayo-ke lowo ebekuyena obekhomba.
Are you satisfied that which you pointed out and said had been noted down correctly? The answer is yes.
Umbuzo-ke ingabe wenelisekile yini ukuthi lokho okukhombile nokushilo ukuthi kubhalwe kahle ngendlela noma ngendlela-ke kusho ngayo? Impendulo-ke yathi yebo.
Are you satisfied that which you pointed out is your own version of what took place? The answer is yes.
Wenelisekile yini ukuthi lokho okukhombile yilokhu okushiwo wena okuphuma kuwena mayelana nalokho okwenzeka? Impendulo yathi yebo.
Do you have any complaints about the manner in which I conducted the pointing out? The answer is no.
Ingabe khona yini impendulo-ke wathi cha?
Are you satisfied with the interpreter? The answer is not applicable.
Ingabe wenelisekile yini ngotolika? Wayengekho-ke umtolisi.
And the following page says, place Albertine, date 2020-06-05, time 14:20.
Ebese kuba kuthi-ke indawo yi-Albertine, i-date 2020-06-05, isikhathi 14:20.
And the signature, my signature, I placed my signature on where it says signature officer would conduct the pointing out.
Bese ngasayinda-ke la ithi khona-ke i-officer leyo kuba kuyiyona-ke eyayihola i-pointing out.
I scratched out the portion of the interpreter.
Ngase-ke ngihlisha-ke lapha khona-ke utolika.
And the deponent, did he append his signature anywhere on the document, exhibit GG?
His signature and thumbprint, I placed it on every page of the pro forma, my lord.
Ukusayinda kwakhe-ke yena kanye futhi nesithupha sakhe-ke khona-ke kwipage ngayodwa yayo-ke iform lena.
And on all the pages, and where on point 12, where it wants signature and right thumbprint of the person who pointed out the sins, I placed his thumbprint and he also placed his signature there. Yes. Page 5, I think.
This is the one with the registration.
Yes.
Bese kuthi-ke ku point 12 ila khona-ke engangicela khona-ke noma wayesayinda khona-ke futhi-ke asebeka khona-ke isithupha sakhe kanye futhi nokusayinda.
And when was this done? When was the signature and thumbprint appended?
On the same day of the interview, of the pointing out, my lord.
Lokho-ke kwenzeka ngaleli langa-ke akhomba ngalo ukuthi-ke asayinde futhi abeke nesithupha sakhe.
But was it after the conclusion of going through the form with him, or at what stage was it?
After having gone through the form with him, that is what we did in terms of his signature and the thumbprint.
Kusemuva kokuthi-ke iform lena-ke siyibheke yonke-ke manje khomsana noma ngimfundela iform yonke ila bese ngimcela khona ukuthi abeke isithupha asayinde futhi.
But paragraph 12 refers to after the conclusion of the pointings out.
Yes, my lord. Paragraph 12 comes after we have went and came back. That is when he will then place his thumbprint.
Paragraph 12 ke ukhuluma ngathi sesihambile-ke sasesibuya-ke ila khona manje sebeka khona isithupha sakhe asayinda futhi,
which will then be in confirmation of his satisfaction about how the pointing out was conducted.
lokho-ke okuzoqinisekisa-ke manje la esenza isiqinisekiso sakhe-ke sokuthi-ke wenele noma wenelisekile-ke mayelana nendlela-ke eqhube ngayo noma engiyithole ngakhona-ke i-pointing out.
Were there any photos taken upon your return?
That's true. Photos were taken, my lord, and they are as follows.
Zikhona-ke iy'thombe manje esey'tshengisa-ke for isikhathi sesibuyile-ke.
That is from photo 26 to photo 31.
Kusuka kwisithombe u-26 kuyofika-ke ku-31.
Photo 26 shows accused whilst dressed,
Lana-ke ku-26 ingenkathi-ke esagqokile
facing my side or that of the camera.
ebheke ngakuyona-ke ikhamera noma mina.
Photo 27 shows him facing the opposite side.
U-27 kuyomkhombisa-ke ebheke le
He is still dressed.
usagqokile-ke.
Photo 28 shows the accused without any top on. He is bare-breasted.
Lana-ke u-28 ila engagqokile-ke phezulu.
Purpose is also to check on any other injuries that he might have sustained.
Nalana-ke inhloso ukubheka-ke ukuthi kusengenzeka ukuthi abe ulimele yini.
Photo 29 shows him facing the left side.
Bese kuthi u-29-ke ubheke uhlangothi langaku-left,
Bare-breasted without any injuries.
akagqokanga lutho phezulu futhi akalimele.
Photo 30 shows him facing the opposite side, bare-breasted without any injuries.
Bese kuthi-ke u-30 ubheke le akagqoke lutho akalimele.
Photo 31 shows him facing the right-hand side and without any injuries,
Bese
still
kuthi-ke
bare-breasted.
u-31 nalapha-ke ubheke ngakuhlangothi langaku-right-ke akagqoke lutho phezulu akalimele futhi.
Do you confirm the correctness of this document, Exhibit GG?
Yes, I confirm, my lord.
Ngaqinisekisa-ke ukuthi ngempela-ke le iqiniso-ke le document lena u-GG.
And just one last aspect. In which capacity are you attached to the Klerksdorp serious corruption?
I'm the unit commander.
La engisebenza khona-ke ngiyi-unit commander.
Thank you, my lord. That is all.
Yes. Mr. Mkomezulu, any cross-examination?
Court pleases, my lord. Sir, may I just confirm if during the interview of Mr. Spear, there was no any other person except yourself and him. Is that correct?
In the office, there wasn't anyone except him and me.
Kwi-ofisi-ke la engangikhulumisana ngixoxisana khona-ke nomnumzane Sibiya kwakungekho omunye umuntu ngaphandle kwakhe nami.
All right. So, in other words, this means that there's no one that can be called to come and confirm what you have told the court just now. Do you agree?
That's true, my lord.
Yebo kuyiqiniseka ukuthi akekho ongabizwa-ke azoqinisekisa lokhu engiqeda ukutshela inkantolo.
Firstly, let's get in terms of proximity in terms of time. I'll get to the dates. You said you received a request from Colonel Gininda on
That's true,
on the 5th of June 2020. Is that correct?
On the 4th of June.
Kwakuyi-4 zikaJuni-ke nkathi ngicela uma sengithola isicelo kuyena uKenneth Gininda 4 zikaJuni.
But according to this pro forma, as you have tried to clarify it, it indicates the 4th of May. Do you see that?
Yes.
Ngiyabona ukuthi yona ke iform ibhalwe 4 May.
So in other words, this is not the correct date in which you received the request from Colonel Gininda.
Yes, hence my explanation to the court.
Yebo ke yodwa lena ke ebhalwe lana kusiyona ke ingakho ke bese ngichazileke ngaphambilini ukuthi ke iphutha le ngalendlela ebhalwe ngayo.
Prior to the handing over of this document to the defense, and the defense had to consult with the accused. Do you understand it?
Yes.
Yebo ke ngiyavuma ukuthi ngaphambilini kokuthi ke idocument lena inikezweke abameli kufanele ukuthi bahlale phansi bakhulumisane ke nabasolwa.
When did you realize this mistake? Was it after you handed over this document to the defense, or on the day in which you conducted the interview?
My lord, that was after the defense had been finished with the documents.
Ukuthi ke ngizobona ke iphutha leli kukamuva ke ukuthi ke abameli sebelinikiwe ke idocument leli.
So in our consultation with the accused, it has been made clear that the 4th of May 2020 could not be the date in which you interviewed them. And what was the method or the way of rectifying it before it was handed over? Oh, sorry, it was handed over. You realized it after. But was there any other way that you could rectify it except correcting it under oath in court?
My lord, I submitted the documents to the investigating team on the very same day. I would not have had time to correct it. And if I had realized it that day, I would have corrected it the very same day. So I had no access to the document until I came for consultation.
I-document lena ke ngase nginikeza ngayo ke kwithimba ke labaphenyi ngase sengekho kwithuba manje lokuthi sengalungisa ke uma kuukuthi kwakuyinto ke engayibona ngaleso sikhathi noma ngalelo langa ke ngangizolungisa ke lelo phutha lelo ke angiphindaka ngahlangana nayo ke i-document lena kwaze kwayisikhathi la esengizo consulta ke nomshushisi.
So you maintain that you received a telephone call from Colonel Gininda on the 4th of May 2020 at 13:39, approximately 20 to 2.
My lord, I received a call from Colonel Gininda on 2020-0604.
Mina ke ilanga ke ngathola ngalo ke i-call ke naMkenya Gininda kwaku 2020-0604.
It seems that you conducted the interview on the 5th of June 2020 at 20 to 2. That's the correct date in which you received.
That is not.
I
just want to correct the time because I can see you started with the first mistake of the 4th of May. The second mistake is on the time in which you received the request. You said 13:39.
Yes.
Ngibhalile ke la ukuthi ke isikhathi engathola noma ke isicelo safika ngalo u-13:39.
And on the same day, in paragraph, I'll just confirm it now. way. Across way. I beg your pardon. Which page is that? Is it the second page? You said you returned, you did not specify. You talked about the time you returned. Do you see that? You said 13:30.
Yes.
Yebo ngishilo ukuthi isikhathi esabuya ngaso 13:30.
Was it the same day as the time you received the request from Gininda?
My lord, it couldn't have been the same day. I said I received the call on 2020 0604. The following day I went and did pointing out.
Engikushilo ukuthi bengeke kube ilanga elilodwa ngishilo ke ukuthi uma ngicelwa ke uyena uKenneth Gininda kwakuyi4 zika June 2020 ngelanga elilandelayo ke ngase ngihamba ngiyokwenza yona ke pointing out.
At the time you received this call, where were you? At that time, when you received the call at 13:39 from Kenneth Gininda, where were you exactly?
I was in my office at Rustenburg.
Nangise office lami ke eRustenburg nkathi ngithola ke ucingo lolu obuya kuyena uKenneth Gininda.
So from Rustenburg, the following day, you proceeded to Albertine.
That's correct, my lord.
Base kuthi ngelanga elilandelayo ke ngase ngiya eAlbertine.
All right. Upon your arrival at Albertine, you said you came across, okay, let's just put it this way. The accused at that time was held in the police cells when you arrived.
That's correct, man.
Kuthi ke ngalelo langa ngathi ngifika ke umsolwa ke waye kuma cell ase Albertine.
You will agree with me that this is the only police cells that is at Albertine is inside the CSC. Is that correct? Of Albertine. When you enter the CSC office, there's cells on your left hand side.
That's correct.
Yebo ke uma ungena ke CSC khona Albertine kunama cells ekuhlangothi lakho la kwesopimele.
There were no other cells other than that cell. Do you know?
No, I don't.
Ukuthi kwayengekho ke amanye ngaphandle kwalawo angazi.
So immediately when you arrived, what time was it when you arrived at Albertine? More or less.
I arrived at Albertine at around 11:30.
Isikhathi ngafika ngaso ke eAlbertine kwaku 11:30.
Do you know where was the accused kept before you arrived at Albertine? Or which police station was he kept?
No, I don't, my lord.
Ukuthi ke wayegcine kuyiphi police station ngaphambi kokuthi ngifike eAlbertine aloba ngikwazi.
So you won't dispute that the accused was transported from Valeria to Albertine police station on the 5th of the 6th month 2020. You won't dispute that?
Yes, I won't.
Angeke ngiphikiseke uma ethi ke wasuswa ke eValeria police station nge-5 zika June wase esiwa ke eAlbertine.
If may I approach me? The accused is raising his hand. All right, let's just put it straight as per my instruction. Accused person was transported from Valeria to Fosloras police station, where he was assaulted, he was tortured, and the nature of the assault was choked with a plastic bag in his face. Will you comment on that?
My Lord, I don't have any comment on that, but I believe that he would have reported that to me.
Ukuthi ke wathathwa ke evidele wase esuwa ke eFosters la ashaywa khona ke base bemfaka ke iTube ngayo ke uplastic ebusweni akukho engakusho kulokho kodwa ke ngiyakholwa ukuthi ngabe ke wangitshela ke uma ukuthi kwenzeka lokho.
We'll reserve the issue of reporting to you, but I just want to narrate the instruction of accused number 1 Sibia. After he was assaulted from Vosloorus, he was then taken to Albertine police station. Will you dispute that?
I don't know about that one.
Angazi lutho ke ngaloko ukuthi emuva kokuthi seshayiwe ke eFosters wase esiwa ke eAlbertine.
All right. It's your evidence that no one handed over the accused to you. That's
Yes,
your
my lord.
evidence.
Yebo kubufakazi bami ke lokho ukuthi akekho umuntu owamdlulisela kumina.
And the reason that you have advanced before this honorable court is a reason that cannot be supported by any person in relation to the fear of him escaping. That's not a genuine reason. Do you agree?
My Lord, it is a genuine reason.
Lokhu kokuthi ke akekho owamdlulisela kumina ke ngoba ukuthi kwakuthi bayesaba ke ukuthi kuthe ngabaleka izathu leso ke engathi kumina ke siyazwakala noma sinento ke ebambekayo.
In terms of escape from lawful custody, when investigation is started, it starts with the person who signed for the accused or a suspect.
Uma kuwukuthi ke kunomuntu ke obalekile ke umuntu lowo ke eboshiwe uqala leyo ke lokho kuqala ke ngomuntu lowo ekuyena osayindile ukuthi ke umsolwa aphume.
Sir, I will demonstrate to the court that the reason to say people, I would say the people, although it was not verbatim said by you, you said they did not want to account because they were scared of an escape. That's what you said.
Yes.
Ngishilo ukuthi ke akekho wayefisa noma wayefuna ukuthi ke abusayindeka amkhiphe ngoba ke isaba ke ukuthi ungabaleka.
And there was no attempt to escape when you arrived. He was under police guard. When you approached the SAPS Albertine, you said there were Metro Police officers that were there.
Yes.
Ngishilo ke ukuthi uma ngifika lapho ke kwakukhona ke babembhekile futhi khona ke nabe EMPD.
What were the prospects of escape if that would be the reason for no one to account in the handing over?
My Lord, when a person is handed over to an officer for a pointing out or a confession, that particular person gets signed out by a specific person to hand over to an officer.
Uma kuwukuthi ke uma kuwukuthi umuntu uzokhishwa ke lo muntu uzondlulisela ke ku-officer noma ke uya ke kwi-confession noma ke kwi-pointing out kunomuntu osayindayo ke amdlulise.
But in this case,
In case anything happens, the person who signed for the person will be investigated. So if police are scared of handing a suspect over to me who they had signed for, I see no issue there, hence I went and signed for him.
Uma kuwukuthi ke kunento eyenzakalayo loyo ke ekuyena osayindile uyena osayindile uphenyo luzoqala kuyena. Uma ke manje amaphoyisa ke enenkinga noma ke engafuni ke ukuthi asayinde ukuthi ke ubani ukhishwe uyena emaselini, angiboni kuudaba noma kuyinto ke etheni ke leyo mina kwami ukuthi angihambe ke ngiyomkhipha mina.
according to me, it's a point of contention because it should have been indicated on that form the reason why there was no one to hand over the accused to you for the pointing out.
The form, my lord, says the accused or the suspect was handed over to me by.
By who?
So there is no one who hands over the suspect to me. Hence, I scratched it out.
Iform yona ke uma la ngendlela ke bhalwe ngayo uthi umsolwa ke wase endlulisela kumina wo kodwa ke akekho umuntu owamdlulisela kumina ke ingakho ke leyo ndawo leyo ngayisula.
Say, let us be practical and be realistic enough. You approach the SAPS, the accused person, you found him in the police cells. There are keys there. Who did they give you the keys to open for yourself and take out the accused?
My lord, they did not open. They did not give me the keys. They opened for me.
Abamnikezanga ikhiya ke ibona abangivulela.
To do what?
To receive the suspect that they did not want to hand over to me.
Ukuthi ke ngamukeleke umsolwa loyo ibona ke bebengafuni ukuthi bamdlulisele kumina.
Does that not mean handing over, according to you? Because they let the doors open for you to gain access to him. Is that not handing over?
In terms of the pro forma, my lord, the pro forma says he was brought to me by in my office. So he was not brought to me by anyone in my office. Hence, I did not complete it. I went and fetched him.
Ngokwale form ke ithi walethwa usibanibani ke emletha ihobisi kumina ke akekho umuntu owamletha kumina ke ihobisi ingakho ke kule yandawo kungabhalileke.
All right. I understand you are so fluent in Zulu. The accused is also coming from Kwanongoma. Is a Zulu speaker, and there was no need for an interpreter to be present. Is that what you are telling the court?
Yes, my lord.
Engikutshela ke lenkantolo ukuthi isiZulu ngiyasikhuluma naye ke umtholi kuya ke Kwanongoma ingakho ke sasingekho isidingo ke sokuthi kube ngutolika.
But the pro forma is written in English.
Yes, my lord.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ukuthi ke iform yona ke ibhalwe nge-English.
And you had no dual responsibility to interrogate and to interpret at the same time, especially translating from English to Zulu. Do you agree?
My lord, we communicated in isiZulu. I wrote in English. I read the document to him, and we agreed what I wrote was the true reflection.
Sasikhuluma ke ngesiZulu, mangibhala mina ke ngibhale ngayo so ke isingisi noma ke ngibhale ngayo ke English, ngamfundela ke sasivumelana ukuthi yebo lokho engikubhalile ke mina ke kungaleyo ndlela ke noma kuyiqiniso.
My lord, may I approach the prisoner? Thank you, my lord, for your indulgence. Let's just quickly correct this thing. You said Mr. Spear was coming from, well, he told you that he was coming from Kwanongoma.
Yes.
Yebo ngatshela uyena ukuthi buya Kwanongoma.
But that is incorrect because he just told me that he is from Emashabatini. Was he misleading you?
It means he was.
Kusho ukuthi ke wangikhohlisa ke uma kuukuthi manje uthi yena ubuya emahlabathini.
So let's get back to the issue of an interpreter. Hence we said the pro forma was made in English and you assumed the duties of an interpreter. And you are not an interpreter. You are a police officer, a justice of peace, as you have indicated. Is that correct?
My Lord, in assuming the interpretation, I do not understand what Mr. Mgomezulu expect me to say. I'm saying to this court, I communicated with the accused in isiZulu, completed a form that was in English, read it back to him, and he was satisfied.
Angazi ke ukuthi usho ukuthini ke umnumzana Mngomezulu uma ethi ke kathatha ke umsebenzi ke kaTolika ngoba ngishilo ukuthi ngangikhulumisana ke naye kumsola ngesiZulu iform lena ke ibhalwe ngayo ke English ngase ngimfundela yona ke sase siyazwana ukuthi lokho ngibhalile ngempela ke kuyiqiniso.
In this form, what is of paramount importance prior to the pointing out or pointings out was to explain the constitutional right of the accused. Is that so?
That's true, my Lord.
Iqiniso ukuthi okusemqoka ke lana kuyona ke form ukuthi ke uchazeke noma umchazeleke ngamalungelo akhe ke anawo ngomthetho sisekelo.
Among other rights that you have explained, right to remain silent, I'm happy with that. Right to legal representative, I'm happy with that. Right against self-incrimination. Sorry, may I confirm that? Right to Thank you very much. Say, from the right to remain silent, you even explain the consequences of not remaining silent.
That's true.
Kuloko ukuthi ke angathula angasho lutho ngimtshela ke nokuthi imiphumela ukuthi angathulike ukuthi iyini.
But what I fail to understand from the rights that you have explained to him is the response that you got from the accused. The answer was, yes, I understand. Do you understand? Is there anything else he said other than, yes, I understand?
If there was anything else, my Lord, I would have mentioned it on the document.
Ngaphandle kwaleta ke impendulo ebhalwe lana ke ukuthi yebo ngiyezwa uma kukhona okunye awayekushilo ngabe ke ngikushilo ke lokho.
Say, let us be realistic. You are asking, you are informing the person about his rights. That person, after he has been informed, you're the one who owes such an explanation to him. He says to you, yes, I understand. So you expect him to say something, yet the answer, yes, I understand. You make no follow-up to say, what do you understand and what is your answer from what you understood? You don't make a follow-up on that one. You are happy with the answer.
Yes.
Ukuthi ke bangangilinde lokunye noma asho kunye yebo mina nganyaniseka uma ethi yebo ngiyezwa.
I will take it as a no, he did not understand because you did not make a follow-up in terms of what was he going to respond on what you have read to him.
My Lord, my communication with the accused after I had explained to him was, do you understand the warning I have given to you? And he said, yes, I understand.
Ekhulumisana kwami naye ke emuva ukuthi ngimchazele ngimbuza ke ukuthi uyasizwa yini esixwayiso wathi yebo ngesizwe.
That will never change the context of my question. My question is, the positive answer is said, yes, I understand. But you never made an obligation to say, what do you understand from these rights that I've explained to you? And you never solicited any answer from that answer to say, I understand.
My Lord, there was no reason for me to further inquire because I read the rights, all of them, to the accused.
All right.
If he says he understands what I informed him of.
Sasingekho-ke isidingo sokuthi ngiphinde futhi okunye ngoba-ke amalungelo ngamfundela onke wase esho-ke ukuthi-ke uyezwa uzwa lokhu mina engimxwayise ngakho noma engimfundele kona.
Let me give you an example. He says, yes, I understand the right to legal representation. What was after he understood? Sorry. My Lord, it has been indicated that it's time to adjourn for the next day. May I proceed, madam?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So, Mr. Khatebe, I'll just pause from the questions that I asked you yesterday. I just want to commence by asking you the background of Section 218. Firstly, can you actually translate the word confession for me in Zulu? What does it mean?
Ukusho okwenzile ngesikhathi ucommita a crime.
It is to say what you did at the time of the commission of a crime.
Okay. All right. In this case, as I've said, I just want to draw you back to Section 218, subsection 1 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Are you familiar with that provision?
Yes, but not word to word.
Yebo ke u218 lona ongibuza ngaye ke ngiyamazi ke kodwa hayi ukuthi nje ngimazi ewonke noma ephelele igama ngegama.
Yeah, looking at the evidence that you gave to the court that this is the fourth pointing out that you have ever conducted since you were appointed as a police officer, is that correct?
It's correct.
Ngishilo ke ukuthi bese noma kube kuyesine noma bezu4 ezinye ebese ngizenzile ke i-pointing out ngaphambi kwalena.
Can you please go back to the paragraph in the pro forma where you said you were requested by Colonel Gininda? Do you see that paragraph that deals with that?
Yes.
I think it's paragraph 2, if I'm not mistaken. Do you see that?
It's 1.
It's paragraph 1.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for the correction. So in that paragraph, you mentioned that you were telephoned by Colonel Gininda to
Yes.
conduct an investigation regarding the pointing out.
Yes, my lord.
Yebo ke lana kubhaliwe ukuthi ke ngafonelwa ke yena uKenneth Gininda ukuthi ngilekeleleke ngayo i-pointing out.
Did he specify, because according to the answers that you put here, he said you can assist me in my case. He did not specify actually what case was he referring to. Do you agree?
Yes.
Lana yebo kubhaliwe ke ukuthi wangicela ukuthi ngimlekelele ngecase yakhe akashongo ke noma anikeze imininingwane ukuthi yipi i-case.
Was it on purpose that it was omitted in your pro forma to conduct a case and does not specify what type of a case was it?
My Lord, it's never intentional to hide information, but it is not correct that a person will tell you on what case does he want you to do pointing out, because he will then be discussing the merits of the case.
Akukho ke okwenziwa ngenhloso noma ukuthi mhlambe ke kuyafihlwa ke noma kungavezwa ke noma kwenziwa lokho ngenhloso, kodwa ke angeke kube kahle ke noma kube right ukuthi manje uma esecela ukuthi umlekelele ecasini ase ekunikeza nemininingwane ukuthi yipi case, ngoba manje ke uzobe esekhuluma noma esekutshela ke ngecase leyo.
Yes, but in relation to this provision of Section 218, there was a specific fact that you expected from the accused. There's a specific, or there's a fact that you were supposed to discover from the accused in terms of that provision. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yebo ke ngokwalo mthetho ke u218 kwakhona ke lokho okwakufanele ukuthi ke ngikutholeke noma ngikuzweke kuyena umsolwa.
And in terms of discovering that fact, in relation to the information to be given by the accused, that means you had no prior knowledge. You had no prior knowledge of the facts in which you were to conduct a pointing out. Is that
That's
so?
correct, my Lord.
Ukuthi ke ngathi ke noma ngaleso sikhathi noma uma esengitshelile ke ngalokho ke umsolwa kusho ukuthi umtshela ngento ebengingenayo ulwazi lwayo noma bengingenayo imininingwane mayelana necala lelo.
So when going to the equation where, after you have explained to him, especially Section 35, about the reasons for his arrest, you indicated that he was arrested. He said he was arrested for, he was going to point out for the allegations of dealing in drugs. Is that so?
My Lord, the accused never said he was going to point out on allegations of drugs.
Umsolwa akakaze asho ukuthi uzoyokhomba mayelana neinsolo zokushushumbisa noma ke zokusebenza ngeidakamizwa.
He said he was in custody on a drug dealing case.
Wathi uboshiwe uboshelwe icala leidakamizwa.
All right. To make a follow-up on that question, in your mind, because you said you did not have a prior knowledge regarding the facts upon which he was supposed to go and point out, were you under the impression that he was going to point out on the case that he was arrested for?
My Lord, in my mind, it was the accused who was going to point out on whatever he wanted to point out.
Mina noma ke emqondweni wami ke kwakuwumsolwa olwayizohamba ayokhomba noma yini leyo yena awayifuna noma efisa ukuthi ayoyikhomba.
May I approach the
Yes.
state, my lord? Thank you, ma'am. So about the case of Senzo Meyiwa, how did you come about to know about his death?
I came up to know about his death on television.
Ukwazi kwami ke mayelana nokushona kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa ngakwazi lokho ke ngokubona ke ku-TV.
So you had a knowledge in terms of, before the accused were arrested, that there were other people that were arrested before the accused in relation to that matter. Is that correct?
That's correct, my Lord.
Ngokuthi ke kwakukhona ke nabanye abantu ababeboshiwe ke ngaphambilini ke ukuthi baboshwe bona ke nalokho ke ngakwazi.
if it came to your attention on the 5th of June 2020 that the pointing out that you had to conduct related to the death of Senzo Meyiwa, did that not conflict with the information that you expected from accused number 1 to give you prior to the pointing out?
My Lord, it did not conflict with the information that I had because I had very little knowledge regarding the in-depth investigation of Senzo Meyiwa's case.
Ukuthi ke i-pointing out leyo ke yayimayela ke nalo ke idaba lokushona kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa angeke ngithi ke kwaphunguzana ke noma kwakushayisana lokho naloko mina ke enganginako noma ulwazi enganginalo ngoba ke ulwazi enganginalo mayelana nokushona kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa laluncane kakhulu.
Are you aware that as per the requirement of section 218, as the accused person, as you said, he voluntarily and freely gave you the information relating to the said matter, was it not a supplementary information from what you had prior?
My Lord, the information that I got from the accused was never a supplementary information because I did not have any in-depth information regarding the case. And I never formed part of the investigation of them.
Ulwazi ke awanginika lona ke noma angalithola kuyena ke umsolwa bangasikona ke ukwengeza kulokho ke enganginako ngoba ngangingenalo ke ulwazi olujulile ke mayela ke nalo icala noma ukushona kwakhe uSenzo ngoba angikaze beyingxenye yethimba eliphenyayo.
All right. Now, upon your arrival at Albertine Police Station, you gave the reason that they did not want to account for the fear of the escape. Do you still remember saying that?
That's true, my Lord.
Shilo ke ngiyakhumbula ngikusho ke ukuthi babe Albertine ke babengafisile noma bengafuni ukuthi kufanele ukuthi baphenduleke mayela nokubaleka kwakhe noma ukuthi ke angabaleka.
Did you buy that reason? Did you actually accede to that reason to be the real reason?
Yes, my Lord. Hence, I went and signed for the accused in the registers.
Kwakulokho ke kwaba imbangela ke yokuthi noma ingakho ke ngahamba ke mina ngaya kuyona iregister leyo kwaba yimina umuntu osayindayo noma umsayindelayo umsolo.
We're talking about the accused who intended to point out freely and voluntarily. Do you think of any reason why they had a reason to believe that he was going to escape? On the other hand, the accused is the one who volunteered to the pointing out. Is that not a contrast?
My Lord, it is not a contrast. The members that had doubts and feared about an escape were the people of Albertine SAPS, who were then in custody of the accused at the time.
Akusukuthi ke kunokushayisana noma kunokubuzana ke ukuthi umsolwa koluhlangothi uyena umuntu wayefisa noma efunaka ukuthi kuphuma kuyena ukuthi ayokhomba nokuthi manje lapha bonaka amaphoyisa ayesaba ke ukuthi uma kungenzeka ukuthi ke eqe noma ke abaleke lokho ke akusikona ke ukubuzana nokushayisana abantu ababesaba ke babesaba lokho yilaba abase Albertine Police Station ekwakuyibona awaye ngaphansi kwabo.
All right, let's get back now to the explanation of rights. You indicated yesterday that you explained the rights in terms of section 35 of the Constitution, the right to remain silent, the consequences of not remaining silent, right to legal representation, right to apply for legal aid in the event it does not have money. And I did not receive a response in relation to or after the accused said, yes, I understand. I'm still curious to know why there was no follow-up after he said he does understand. Because it's not clear whether he understood the rights as explained and he intended to either to opt for a legal representation or to speak without or to waive the right to remain silent.
My Lord, the questions do not only stop at yes, I understand. It continues where I warn the accused, and it still goes, do you still further wish to point out the sins, where he then says, I still want to point out and give a statement. So it's not only based on, stops on yes, I understand.
Lemibuzo ke ayipheli laphela ke ethi nje ingabe uyezwa yini iyaqhubeka ke ngoba ke yila sengimxwayisa khona ke ukuthi uyabuzwa ke ukuthi usafisa yini noma kuseyisifiso sakho yini sokuthi uqhubekeke uyokhomba aphenduleke athi ngisafisa noma ngisafuna ukuthi ngiyokhomba futhi nginikeze ngestatement.
All right, let's get into the right to have legal representation. What was his response in terms of that?
He was informed of all the rights and he chose to continue. That is the response.
Watshela ke ngawo onke amalungelo wakhetha ke ukuthi aqhubeke ileyo impendulo.
Now say let me be specific in terms of the right to legal representation. I think if it was an option that was exercised by the accused, that should have been in your pro forma as an answer you got directly from the accused.
My Lord, it couldn't be. The accused was informed of all his rights, and the accused still preferred to continue.
Lana ke umsolwa uma uthi ke bakufanele lelo lungelo ke uma kokuthi isinqumo sakho kwakuthi ke aqhubeke ngaphandle komeli kwakumele ngikubhale phansi lokho noma khona kule form bangeke ke ngoba ke umsolwa watshelwa ke ngawo onke amalungelo akhe waseqhubeka ke yena ke noma ke ethi uyoqhubeka.
But I'm specific about the right to a legal representative. I understand you talk about all the rights because he was supposed to exercise his right, his constitutional right. Either he wants to go in person or to be represented. That's the right that I'm concerned about at the moment.
My Lord, my answer is that all these rights, it does not mean the legal one is sacrosanct or bigger than the other one. All the rights were explained to him and he chose to continue. Going specific on a specific right means that then we undermine the rest of the other rights.
Lamalungelo awawatshela noma awawanikezwa onke akusho ukuthi ke leli lungelo wena ke ugxile kulona ke lommeli lingaphezulu ke kwamanye uma manje ke sesizokhetha ke elilodwa kusho ukuthi amanye lana ke ama rights wona ke awakha awabalulekile.
So are you telling the court that the rights that are mentioned in this pro forma are the only rights that are enshrined under Section 35 of the Bill of Rights? Is that what you are telling the court?
No, my Lord.
Angisho ukuthi lana abhalwe lana ke iwona kuphela ama rights akhona ke ngaphansi kwakhe uSection 35.
In explanation of the rights at that moment, did you explain to him that he has a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty? Did you explain that right?
I explained the rights that were in the pro forma, my Lord.
Yabuza kumele ukuthi ke ilungelo lokuthi ke ubonwa ke noma ke uzobonwa ke umsulwa kuze kube yisikhathi la khona ke ulahlwa icala noma amacala enkantolo bendithi ke mina ngichaze amalungelo la akhona ke kwiform.
So at the time you you were explaining these rights. I'm glad you considered that particular right you never explained to the accused. Let me proceed by saying, when you explain these rights to the accused, were you aware as to when was he arrested?
No, my lord.
Cha ngangingazi-ke nkathi ngimtshela ngalamalungelo ukuthi waboshwa nini.
Did you ask the accused as to when was he arrested?
No, my lord, I did not ask him when was he arrested.
Futhi-ke angimbuzanga-ke nokuthi waboshwa nini.
Why not? Why didn't you ask what was he arrested for?
Because he informed me that he knew what he was arrested for, and he was informed of the reasons of his arrest, and that he was currently in custody on a different matter, which is dealing in drugs.
Ngoba-ke yena-ke wangitshela-ke ukuthi uboshelweni, wangitshela-ke nokuthi-ke bamazisa-ke noma babemtshelile-ke ukuthi kungani eboshiwe, nokuthi-ke futhi-ke kwakulinye icala-ke ley'dakamizwa.
So, if he said or he informed you that he was arrested or is in custody for the charges of dealing in drugs, so you never inquire as to the reason before he actually waived all these rights. Did you inform him, or did he inform you that he was going to make a pointing out in relation to the present allegations against him? Did he inform you? Other than the answer that you got from him that he was in custody for another offense, which is dealing in drugs. But did he, as a person who made a statement or a pointing out, or a person who intended to make a pointing out freely and voluntarily, he should have freely and voluntarily informed you that I want to go and point out at the crime scene as per the allegations.
My lord, when I asked the accused, his answer was, yes, I was informed. Because the question was, the said was asked whether he was informed of the reason for his arrest as prescribed by Section 35 of the Constitution. And he said, yes, I was informed. I took it that he knows what he says he was informed on.
Lana-ke umbuzo uthi wase ebuzwa-ke ukuthi watshelwa yini mayelana nesizathu sokuboshwa kwakhe, nanjengoba kukhona-ke kuyena usection 35 wasephendula-ke wathi yebo ngatshelwa. Lokho-ke kwase kuthi kumina-ke ukuthi-ke wayekwazi-ke lokho athi wakuthelwa.
My question is, did he inform you that he was going to point out freely and voluntarily, without being induced by anyone, to a crime scene in relation to this matter? Did he inform you?
Yes, hence there is a statement that continues after the performance.
Yebo wangitshela-ke ukuthi la azoyokhomba khona-ke into leyo ayizenzelayo noma ephuma kuyena-ke yingakho-ke manje sekune-statement-ke manje emuva kokuthi-ke iperforma lena iqediwe.
All right. At the police station, you mentioned that there were Metropolis officers.
Yes, my lord.
Ngishilo ukuthi kwakunama-Metropolis khona-ke police station.
Were they escorting the accused, according to the information you got?
Yes, my lord, it seems so.
Yebo-ke kuke kanjalo ukuthi bona babem-escorta noma-ke babehamba naye-ke umsola.
Have you inquired from the accused if he was familiar with Albertine and the directions towards the place where he was going to point out?
Yes, my lord, I did.
Ngambuza umsola ukuthi-ke i-Albertine lena uyayazi kanye futhi nendawo lena-ke ayizohamba ayokhomba kuyona.
So, what was the response to him after you made such an inquiry?
He said he is not familiar with Albertine. If we can take him to the entrance of Photographic, he will show us.
Awasitshela kona-ke ukuthi i-Albertine yena akayazi kodwa-ke uma singamthatha nje simiseke noma siyomfica uyofika lapho kungenwa khona noma-ke i-entrance yase-Photographic ila azositshengisa khona.
Do you know why he was kept in Albertine police station prior to going to Photographic, or?
No, my lord.
We don't have a reason why he was kept at Albertine police station.
My lord, the only reason would have been he is transferred from a specific station to Albertine.
Kuphela kwesizathu-ke sokuthi kwangabe kungani-ke agcinwe e-Albertine ukuthi-ke asithi nje ususwe kwesinye isiteshi wabese ethathwa-ke esiwa khona e-Albertine.
But you can confirm before this honorable court that it was not his instruction that he can take the person who's conducting the pointing out from Albertine police station to the crime scene.
That's true, my lord. Hence, I gave what he said to me.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi-ke akazasho ukuthi yena-ke angasithatha-ke kusuke e-Albertine kuye la afuna ukukhomba khona ingakho-ke ngiqeda ukusho manje lokhu awakusho yena.
So you further not in dispute of the fact that from Villaria to Photographic, where he was assaulted, and back to Albertine. You cannot dispute that.
That's true, my lord. I cannot dispute what I did not see, and I cannot confirm what I did not see.
Kuyiqiniso-ke ukuthi lokho kushoyo ukuthi wasuswe eVillaria waya-ke eForceras la athi washaywa khona wasebuyele e-Albertine ukuthi-ke angeke ngiyiphikise into engazange ngiyibone, ngeke ngivume futhi into engazange ngiyibone.
Okay, now we are leaving Albertine police station. At what time did we depart from Albertine police station?
My lord, we left Albertine police station at it is here on the form. It is at, I think, around 1300 hours or just before 1300 hours.
Lama ngesikhathi esaphuma ngaso-ke noma esasuka ngaso khona e-Albertine-ke u-1300 noma-ke u-1 noma nje ngaphambi kwakhe ukuthi kushaye u-1.
Where's that time you're referring to in your proforma? In which paragraph are you referring?
It's not. I thought I wrote it, but there is no space for it. But it was before one.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ngeke ngisibhale leso sikhathi kodwa-ke angisiboni ispace kodwa-ke kwakungaphambi ko-1.
So I don't think I'll consider that answer as the answer that I expected from you, the one who was assigned to conduct the pointing out. You should have specified as to the time in which you departed from Albertine, because you specified the time you returned to Albertine. You said you returned at 1:30.
That's true, my lord. I would have specified it if it was here if there was a space for it here on the form.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngishilo ukuthi sabuya-ke ngo-1:30 uma bekuthi ispace besikhona-ke sokuchaza isikhathi esahamba ngaso ngabe-ke lokho kukhona la.
I did not intentionally not mention it to hide anything.
Angikwenzanga lokho-ke ngenhloso ukuthi-ke kube khona-ke engikufihlayo ukuthi-ke leso sikhathi leso singabi khona la.
Was it not imperative? I understand you make an ill excuse of a space on the proforma. Was it not imperative for you to record the time of departure? Because it was imperative for you to take photos of the odometer of the motor vehicle that transported the accused person. I find no reason for you not to specify the time in which you departed.
My lord, I'm being asked a question which is clear. The kilometer reading of the vehicle appears on the form, hence it was written. Time of departure does not appear on the form, and the comparison thereof I don't understand.
Lana ngibuzwa ke umbuzo ucacile ukuthi ke i-reading ke noma ama-kilometer emoto kona kukhona nama space sakho lokho kukhona lana ukuthi ke manje kuqhathaniswe lokho nesikhathi sokuhamba ngoba la isikhathi sokuhamba asikho space ayikho indawo ebhalwe lokho la kwi-form.
All right. How were we going to determine as to how long did it take you to conduct the pointing out if there's no record of the departure?
The time of how long did I do the pointing out can be determined by me giving evidence and explaining to this court.
Isikhathi ke sokuthi noma ukuthi bathatha isikhathi esingakanani ukuthi ke lokho akhoma noma le pointing out lokho ke kungathi kutholeke ngokuthi mina ke nginikeze ngobufakazi la enkantolo.
The reason for this question is to demonstrate a lot of mistakes that you have made during the investigating process. You've made a lot of mistakes in this pro forma.
I do not agree, madam.
Angivumi ke uma uthi ngenze amaphutha amaningi kule form.
All right. I'll firstly highlight the first mistake you've made. The first mistake, you said you received the information on the 5th of May, on the 4th of May. That was the first mistake, and you wanted to correct it under oath because you did not see that mistake prior to the disclosure of this form to the defense. That's the first mistake you've made. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. It's a human error.
Ngiyavuma ukuthi ke umuntu ngalenza ke iphutha uma uthi ke ngenza iphutha lokuqala ukuthi ngibhale mina i4 zika May.
I want to remind you that we are here about the life of a person. The life of a person who has been deprived of his freedom. So if you talk about human error, we understand human error. Is it a human error again not to record the time of departure? Is also a human error.
My lord, it's not necessarily a human error not to record the time of departure. It is not in the form. I worked according to the form of the pointing.
Mina ngisebenze ngayo iform lena isikhathi lesi sokuthi sisuke nganini eAlbertine ayikho indawo yakho lokho la.
Okay, I'll move on. I'll leave that for argument. But I can see you are evasive. You are trying to avoid my question. Let's move on. Let's look at the time you came back. You recorded 1:30. Is that correct?
That's true, my lord.
Isikhathi sokubuya ke engisibhalile la 1:30.
All right. Give us a practical picture. You are departing from Albertine Police Station. At the moment you are departing, after you have explained the rights, you come back 1:30. Then you mentioned that you completed the form. It was 14:20. Do you
Yes.
agree?
I agree, my lord.
Yebo ke masibuya ngishilo noma ngibhalile la ukuthi ke kwakusey manje u20:02 noma 14:20 uma seqedela ke iform kathi sesibuyile.
So to complete this form took you more or less 50 minutes according to time frame. 1:30 you came back, you attended to complete the form 2:20, or more or less 50 minutes. Is that correct?
That is not to complete the form that took 50 minutes. There was an interview and a statement obtained from the accused. That whole thing encompasses the 2:20 time.
Akusilona ngiqinisa ukuthi ke manje uqedela ke iform lokho kwathatha u50 minutes kwaba manje ke ne-interview ke nayo nokuthatha ke lesi statement bese kuyena umsolwa konke ke lokho ukuhlanganisa ke ikona ke okwayofika ke kulesa sikhathi sika 2:20.
As you were going to the place or to the crime scene, were you taking some notes from what the accused was saying when you were conveying him to the crime scene? Were you jotting some notes, making some entries?
There was nothing that he said on our way to the crime scene.
Endleleni ke eyakhona lapho ke kwindawo yesigameko akukho awakusho ke noma awayekusho umsolwa.
So are you telling the court that within that 50 minutes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the statement of the accused consists of 2 pages, and the pro forma consists of 5 pages, 3 pages of the statement. Yeah, 2 pages. So more or less 8 pages that you completed within a period of 50 minutes. Was that probable?
Yes.
Yebo ukuthi ke lama page awu-8 ngangwakwenzekanga noma futhi into engengenzekanga ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi leso sika 50 minutes ngaqeda.
So during the pointing out, I don't want to get into the merits of the pointing out, but can you assure the court that there was no investigating officer present, physically present, during the pointing out?
Yes, I can assure the court.
Nganikezwa lenkantolo isiqinisekiso sokuthi ke ngalesi sikhathi ke ekhomba ke noma kule pointing out umphenyi wecala ke noma umseshi wayengekho.
Do you know Mr. Mahano? Sergeant Mahano, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the title?
Yes.
Or rank. Do you know him?
Yes.
Yebo ngiyamazi ke uSergeant Mohane.
What was his involvement during the pointing out? Was he present? He was not present?
The last time I saw him, he was at the police station when I gave him the forms.
Ugcina kwami ukumbona ke kwakuse police station kanti ngimnikeza ke ama forms.
So in other words, he was not at the scene crime
Yes.
scene, sorry.
Yes.
Wayengekho ke lapha yana kuleya ndawo yesigameko.
That's not my instruction. My instruction is that Sergeant Mahano was present when this pointing out took place, in the presence of more or less heavily armed TRT police unit.
That's not correct, my lord. I did not see Sergeant Mahano there. And
sorry.
the other thing that I need to clarify to the court is that the question was, during the pointing out, was the investigating officer there? I said no, because the investigating officer is Brigadier Gininda.
Lana ke umbuzo
So Brigadier Gininda was nowhere there.
Umbuzo ubuzile ukuthi umseshi noma umphenyi weqala wayekhona ke ngathi cha. Umphenyi weqala kwakuyibrigadier Gininda yena ke wayengekho lapho.
There's evidence before this court that Mahano was present when a confession was made in the presence of or in front of a magistrate for accused number 2. He was present at that time, but not inside according to the state witnesses. He was present. I just want to check his involvement in this, if he was not an investigating officer.
My lord, I wouldn't know what is Mahano's participation in the investigation. I would only answer for what I did on the day of the pointing out, which is to hand over documents to him.
Angeke ngazi-ke ukuthi-ke umkhano-ke yena-ke kwakuyini-ke emhlanganisa-ke nophenyo lwalolu cala. Engakusho-ke mina-ke yilokho mina nje engakwenza ngalelo langa le-pointing out okwakuwumnikeza ama-documents.
So do you also dispute that there were members of the TRT police officers or police unit?
During the pointing out, there wasn't any member of the TRT.
Ngesikhathi i-pointing out yenzeka lalingekho ilunga noma amalunga e-TRT.
Who was escorting you?
I was escorted by EMPD members.
Abantu ababengi-escorta amalunga-ke e-EMPD.
How many were they?
They were in 2 cars, my lord. I think there were 4.
Babehamba ngey'moto ezimbili ngicabanga ukuthi babe-4.
Did you not observe or see a minibus that was transporting the members of the TRT?
No, my lord, I didn't.
Angizange ngibone-ke ibhasi ehamba-ke labo be-TRT.
So these members of the EMPD, were they also present during the pointing out?
My lord, they kept a distance away from the pointing out.
Laba-ke be-EMPD bona-ke babeqhelileke
But they were present in the distance.
babekhona-ke lapho i-pointing out yenzeka kodwa-ke babeqhelile.
May I consult, ma'am?
Yes.
So, in terms of your experience in relation to the pointing out, you said, as you have said, this was the 4th one. So you did not have necessary skill and experience and proficiency to conduct a pointing out.
As a court, please, Marato, I don't understand what is the basis for that question. The witness has put his background on record, how he worked at, amongst others, murder and robbery in the vow. Can we just get clarity as to what is the basis for that question?
Yes.
The basis for this question is
What is the basis?
arises from the mistakes that he has made and the last statement that he has made in which the witness indicated that he has, to the best of his knowledge, satisfied himself that the information is incorrect. I believe it's in the last page of the pro forma. May I proceed, Madam?
Where do you see that? You say there's what on this pro forma?
There's an indication from at the last page.
Indication.
Yes,
Last page?
last page. It starts with after the conclusion of, my lord.
Yeah. So where
So
is that?
you-
Where is that indication? Because I see after the conclusion, pointing of the scenes and of points, the notes are read to the person who pointed out, and they are interpreted once again. The following questions are now put to the person who pointed out the scenes and or points. 1. Are you satisfied that which you pointed out and said has been noted down correctly? Answer, yes. 2. Are you satisfied that which you pointed out is your own version of what took place? Answer, yes. Do you have Have any complaints about the manner in which I conducted the pointing out? Answer, no. Are you satisfied with the interpreter? It's not applicable because there was no interpreter. Where's the indication, sir?
May I withdraw that, my lord?
Yes.
Because the basis for this question, let me just rephrase it in this manner. After the completion of this pro forma, did you recheck every information that is contained there?
I went through the pro forma, hence I immediately left it.
Iperforma lena ngayibheka-ke ithi mase ngiqedile-ke ingakho-ke ngayishiya.
All right. May I just put the version of the accused before I conclude my cross-examination? My instruction is that the accused person was arrested on the 30th of May 2020 at Tembisa. During the arrest, he was assaulted. He was then taken to Photographic next to a municipality area, where he was further assaulted, choked with a plastic bag. And
Sorry, just for my clarification.
yes,
Is it in a room? Is it in the open field? Is it in a police station? Where? A residential area, because you say he was again assaulted.
he was assaulted
Where?
at police.
If you want to disclose it. If you don't want to, fine. It's just
My-
for my clarification.
I'll clarify that, my lord, because it's my version. It's the version of the accused. On the day he was arrested, on the 30th of May 2020, he was assaulted by the police outside the house. Yeah. He was assaulted by the police in Tembisa at a place called Litabong. And he was then taken again to Photographic, to a place which he assumed or suspected to be a municipality area next to the court, where he was further assaulted.
My lord, if I may take instructions in the meantime.
Yes.
Thereafter, he was transported to Albertine. And on the 30th, he was assaulted in the presence of Colonel Mboto, who took a confession from the accused. Can you comment on that?
You know, Mr. Gomez, I want to be fair to you.
Yes.
You didn't cross-examine Mboto. The assertion which was put was never that he was assaulted in the presence of Colonel Mboto. The assertion was that when the accused entered Mboto's office, the assault stopped. And Mboto took out a completed pro forma and a completed statement and said to the accused, why did you find this? Because these people are going to keep on assaulting you. That was what was put, not inside the office.
May I confirm that?
Yes, I don't want us to.
My My Lord, I beg leave to adjourn for a few minutes, my Lord. I just want to take proper instruction relating to this because
How long?
10 minutes.
What's your time then?
20 minutes. It's 5 to 11, my Lord.
20 minutes. Okay.
Uma ungangithatha nje ungiseke la engenwa khona noma lokho kubizwa ukuthi i-entrance yase-Force Lawyers.
If that is the case, which entrance are you talking about in First Lawyers?
That
To
is
which
the
entrance did you take the accused to?
that is the entrance next to the shopping complex.
Ile ndawo yokungena ke eseduze ke nala kuneyitolo khona ke noma entrance le eseduze ne-shopping complex.
Is it the only entrance or is it the only shopping complex?
My Lord, I can't say that. I don't even know that area. So the driver was the one who drove to that direction.
Angeke ngikusho ukuthi iyona kuphela ke leyo ndawo eneyitolo, angiyazi ke leya ndawo noma leya area. Umshayeli uyena owadriver ke waye ngakulolo hlangothi lolo.
Mr. Spear is going to deny that he gave you the directions to that particular place where you allege he has made a pointing out. He will deny that.
My Lord, I would not have known those points if they were not pointed out by him.
Ngangeke ngizazi ke lezo ndawo noma lawo ma points uma kuukuthi ayengakhonjiwe uyena.
It is further my instruction regarding, or let me just put it this way. Did he ever directed you to that particular place? Did he actually instruct the driver to turn right, left, stop?
My Lord, we took him to, he said we must take him to the entrance. From that area, he said, now I see. And then he directed it.
What? Asimthathe simseke la kungena khona noma ke ku-entrance. Ukusuka lapho ke wasethi manje ke sengiyabona ke kwaba uyena ke manje osesitshela noma sesikhombisa.
Yes, may I repeat that question? Did he direct you or did he direct the driver? If he says yes, now I can see. But was he directing the driver to say he must turn left, he must turn right?
Yes.
Uyena ke wayitshela ke umshayeli ukuthi manje ke usungajika ke ekunxele usungajika ke kwesokudla.
The accused will deny that. He will dispute that.
That's what happened.
Uma uthi ke uzophika yiloko okwenzeka.
The version on the 5th of June 2020, according to his version, he doesn't even know that particular place. The only place where he was taken to, where he saw that he was at Force Lawyers, was at the hostel in Force Lawyers because he was residing there previously. That's the only place he saw.
That's not correct, my Lord. I did not even know the points that he pointed me, except being directed by him.
Ukuthi ke wayengazazi ke noma indawo awayeyazi ke eForce Lawyers hostel ngoba wayehlala lapho akusilona iqiniso ngoba ke mina ke lama points lezi ndawo ngangazazi mina uyena owayeyikhomba.
It is further my instruction that he was coerced to point at a place or at that particular place that he didn't know. He was never there previously.
He was never coerced by me, my Lord, and he never reported ever being coerced by anyone else.
Akakaze aphoqwe yimina ukuthi ke akakhombe futhi ke akakaze asho kumina ukuthi ukhona owamphoqa ukuthi akakwenze lokho.
Let me just get back to the version to establish the history of assault or as from the 30th of May 2020. For the point of correction that from the error that has occurred on putting that in version. I was instructed to inform you that when he was arrested on the 30th of May 2020, he was taken to a certain place in Litabong. It's a municipality area where he was assaulted. He was suffocated by the police. Furthermore, he was taken to, after that, yes, the Tabong is in Tembisa. After Tembisa, he was taken to Photographic, where he was further assaulted. It is also a place, a municipality area. Do you have knowledge of that?
No, I don't.
anginalwazi-ke lolo kokushoyo ukuthi-ke washaywa-ke wasiwa kule ndawo-ke okwakubukeka kuyena-ke ngathi indawo kamasipala eLithabong ethembisa ila ashaywa khona-ke nokuthi emuva kwalokho wase esiwa futhi eFosloras nalapho kwakuyindawo-ke ngathi ekamasipala anginalwazi lwalokho.
He was also assaulted at the Kloof police station in the office, where during the assault, Colonel Mboto entered the office and the assault stopped. Do you have knowledge of that?
No, I don't have.